Hey guys, welcome to my Minecraft Let's Play. Today we're talking about Deep Rock Galactic, a co-op sci-fi shooter for 1 to 4 short kings that answers the age-old question, what if Minecraft had guns? It is one of the highest rated games on Steam, right up there with the official DSM-5 autism test, and for good reason, since this is probably one of the best co-op shooters I've ever played. I would say the best, but I mean, come on. Despite being sci-fi, it takes you back to the good old days, where short people were coal miners, working all day and drinking all night, only to die to exploding spiders by the wipeout age of 24. I'm not even trying to be funny here, this is just pretty much the gameplay loop. And oh yeah, they are alien spiders. I love them. Deep Rock can be both incredibly relaxing or a heart attack inducing adrenaline filled rush. Let me show you. In Deep Rock you choose a character out of 4 vertically challenged persons. Starting out with the gunner, because I want to make my videos relatable, and he's also the character you play in the tutorial. Due to his name, the gunner specializes in, well... He comes with a freaking minigun, a revolver, a shield generator and a zipline tool that is basically just a slower Walmart mobility scooter. Next up, the driller. Do you enjoy strip mining Minecraft? Do you achieve a state of inner zen after staring at a wall for 5 minutes? Then the driller is perfect for you. You got a flamethrower, a pistol, drills, and the best way to remind your team that it is not you that is in danger. Engineer. The engineer is a very unique class. He sets up turrets and has a shotgun for close quarters combat. His main purpose in the game is to set up platforms for the scout. And oh yeah, don't forget about the war crimes. Speaking of the scout, he is objectively the best class in the game. And this is also where I realized that I played you for fools, because character selection really is just an illusion of choice. Like, you're telling me you have the choice to pick a literal gigachat that defies the model concept of gravity and spits in the face of his creator and you pick fucking Torbjorn? That's actually pretty great, because I do need those platforms. The scout also provides light for your team, which makes playing without him absolutely miserable.
Out of your friends, which are you? Truck freak, crazy ass. The fire.
This feels like a great moment to mention that you can customize your loadout. Each dwarf has multiple choice for both their primary and secondary weapon, as well as their throwable. For example, the scout starts out with a deep core GK2 assault rifle, but quickly unlocks the... I mean, come on, do I really need to say anything? Customization is not only limited to weapons, but you can also create your very own dwarf OC. The vast majority of cosmetics are unlocked by playing the game. This is a concept found in games from the early 2000s, before the eventual rise of microtransactions and greedy cash shops. And seeing this in a modern game feels like finding a shiny relic of a far more advanced civilization, buried in a scrapyard of free-to-play games. There are paid cosmetics, but we'll get to that. But not right now, because I have to tell you about your upcoming workplace. Australia. Rich in numerous precious minerals and full of bugs, they're just too goddamn big. Serious hacking chunkers out there. I could probably also make a joke about Australia and alcohol abuse, but I mean, that one feels a bit too easy, doesn't it?
A fucking VB, long neck, at 20 to 8 the fucking morning. Get that up here.
I have to say the game kinda breaks my immersion, because unlike the actual Australia, this one is not just 90% sandy hellscape, but there are multiple different biomes for you to discover. Don't worry, there's still gonna be plenty of sand. But you will also traverse damp mushroom-filled caves, a volcanic biome shaken by regular earthquakes, the Musk family emerald mines, and many more. There are 10 biomes in total, each one with their own features and hazards, like the uranium crystals deep down in the Musk emerald mines, or the totally not unsettling walleyes in the crystalline caverns. My favorite hazard is probably the funny exploding mushroom, for no particular reason. Understanding the different hazards is important to survive and complete your mission. The game offers a variety of mission types, each with its own set of objectives and challenges. These go from role-playing as a coal miner to collecting alien eggs, all the way to exterminating giant enemy spiders. You can also try to live the American dream by drilling for oil or conducting normal dwarven business practices. Each mission comes with a random secondary objective as well. These are optional,
but be honest,
are they really though? Usually they will have to collect something, with standouts being the xenomorph eggs and the literal alien testicles. Fun fact, you can slap them. It does absolutely nothing, but hey, now you know. When selecting a mission, you will also choose difficulty, or hazard level as it's called here. This ranges from 1 to 5, where 1 is so easy I'm not even sure enemies even spawn, to 5. And finally, missions can also have mutations. These are split into warnings and anomalies. Anomalies are basically the game saying, hey, you've been a good boy. Do you want double XP or more gold on this mission? Warnings on the other hand are more like, oxygen is cringe, or you're being hunted by the unknown horror. But hey, at least you get increased payout. Okay, so with all of that in mind, it is time for you to choose your first mission, enter the Fortnite battle bus and drop down into the caves. These are procedurally generated, by the way, which is a fancy way to say, computer, go make a random level. I would love to tell you more, but apart from an old blog post, there's just not a lot of information on this. GSG hides the details like a 6-year-old would hide their piss drawer, and probably for good reason. The sense of exploration you get from uncovering a new cave is vital to keep your government brain releasing the happy chemicals, and Deep Rock absolutely excels in making exciting spaces for you to get lost in. But like any good expedition, exploration is only part of what makes it fun. So let's talk about draining this foreign place of its natural resources and absolutely wrecking the environment in the process. A lot of your time in the case will be spent clutching your right mouse button. There are also other creative ways to mine, but these are not accessible to everyone, and unlike them, your pickaxe won't run out of ammo. And that's okay, because smashing rocks for hours really is the peak male fantasy.
I wrote a blog post a while ago about why I f***ing hate video games, because this is what it does. It appeals to like the male fantasy.
Minerals come in a bunch of different varieties. Primary and secondary objectives, gold to fill your pockets, nitro to pay for your ammunition, and a bunch of colorful power crystals that you can bring to a TikTok art host to align your chakras. Also, you may have noticed that the terrain is completely destructible as well. There are edges to the map, but even those can be destroyed with enough time and dedication. Personally, if I have the urge to completely waste an hour of my life only to feel empty inside, I just play a game of League.
Swarm, it's a big one, team.
This mission control, by the way, his main purpose is to get annoyed at you for having even the slightest amount of fun at your job. So, usual middle management stuff.
Mushroom, shut it. Get back to work.
But yeah, the swarm. Turns out you're not alone on this planet. Far from it, to be honest. There are a lot of bugs, like 4 at least, and they're all majorly pissed that you go full Brazil in the ecosystem. We got small spiders, big spiders, even bigger spiders that also vomit on you, and fucking Clifford over here. Why is he so big? There are also flies, an aggressive plant, and even more aggressive plant.
Keep rolling. Keep rolling.
Flying brains from Futurama, the much beloved ceiling vibe check, PTSD, and many more. Oh, and did I mention the murder robots? We'll talk about them later. But not everything in the caves is trying to kill you. There are also some passive critters, like the loot bug.
As we venture into the depths of Hox's 4, we encounter a peculiar creature known as the loot bug. This small, grub-like animal scurries across the caverns and is usually seen grazing peacefully on the topsoil. The loot bug's diet consists primarily of minerals and gems found deep within the planet's crust. Its body is able to break down even the toughest of materials, extracting the precious resources within. We can only hope to encounter more of these fascinating creatures.
In general, I would say combat is decent. You shoot big bugs with an ever-growing arsenal of cool weapons. Not much more to say here. You have the classic shield plus HP combo, which is great because all my homies hate chip damage. I think most of the enjoyment comes from playing to your class's strengths and synergizing them with your teammates. Yes, you could go full SEAL Team 6, 4 gunners, maximum firepower, but not only is collecting resources gonna be a nightmare, but you also lose out on stuff like Scout's flare gun or Engineer platform bridges. Cooperation is a theme that extends through the whole game, which is no wonder, since Ghost Ship Games even stated on their website that they develop co-op first. They also said something about subscribe to Ramoran. The good thing is that teamwork feels really effortless. Based on your class and build, you just know what to do. Of course a scout is going to grapple up when an engineer sets up a platform. And even if you miss it, chance is that someone will use the contextual ping system to let you know that yes indeed there is Nitra. playing solo is an option. You get this little microwave that follows you around, but I would recommend that you force your friends to play it with you. Use bribes, blackmail, or threats of violence if necessary. It's just that much better. Unless you play with my friends, since they seem to have eaten their W key. But what if I don't have friends? Well, good news for all of you Genshin players out there, because there's also matchmaking. You can either join an existing mission to the server browser or host your own game and have other people join you. It just works. The game is full of really nice people. In the 30 or so hours that I played with randoms, no one recommended me a toaster bath. That's new. So don't be anxious about queuing up with randoms, just make sure to follow the basic dwarf etiquette. First of all, you share resources, so be mindful about taking resupplies. Keep in mind that you can see the general ammo of your teammates if you hold the ping tool. Second, make sure to ping both compressed gold and bitter gems an absolute minimum of 15 times. And third, if you don't rock and stone, you ain't coming home. You can press V at any time to salute your fellow miners, although I recommend binding rock and stone to a mouse button for maximum efficiency. And that's pretty much all you need to know. Hey, so this is me doing the voiceover. I couldn't really think of a proper transition to the next topic, so take a look at this title card. Wow. In the beginning, your main way of progression is gonna be character levels. Character levels are tied to the 4 classes and unlock new weapons and modifications for existing gear. Just like eating lemons in an all-you-can-eat restaurant, 25 is about the maximum number you can reach before you are being stopped. After that, you get a special assignment that, when completed, allows you to promote your dwarf. Promotions are a prestige system. Think Call of Duty, where you reset your character level but keep the benefits. It's also pretty funny, since despite the name promotion, you have to pay the company to receive it. Although I think it's only funny in a very limited time frame, because I swear like 5 years from now, companies will start actually doing this, using some bullshit reasons like a promotion is a big risk for a company and paying for it shows that you're actually committed to stay here, or some bullshit like that. I just can't wait till the first mentions of this leak from Bobby's Funhouse. But back to the game. Promoting a dwarf unlocks the quote-unquote endgame systems, at the heart of which you find matrix cores. These are used to unlock new cosmetics and weapon overclocks. Overclocks range from 100 more ammo for your minigun to this. You get these matrix cores by completing the weekly core hunt assignment as well as deep dives. Deep dives are a series of 3 consecutive missions where nitra, ammo and health persist with the different stages. The missions get harder the deeper you progress, and there's also an elite version. Deep dives, and especially elite deep dives, feel like starting a riding assignment 6 hours before the due date with enough caffeine in your bloodstream to kill a small horse. You probably won't remember most of what happened, but the feeling of relief after you're done is absolutely amazing. There's one final form of progression, but for that we first need to talk about seasons. Seasons are a way of theming the updates to build a bit of a narrative. They are free and change roughly every 6 months. Season 1 entered the previously mentioned Murder Robots, a rival mining operation that is here to challenge Deep Rock's monopoly over Hox's 4. Of course, management can't let that slip and orders you to negotiate peacefully in the new mission. Fuck them robots. Surprisingly, blowing up the infrastructure and stealing their data didn't seem to relieve the conflict, and so Season 2 follows the escalating offensive of the rival incursion. Now with Nemesis, a robot that uses AI voice cloning technology to lure unaware dwarves away from their team. Season 3 breaks from the robot theme by introducing Rockpox, an alien plague that spreads through rock and stone and infects the Glyphids and Praetorians. Your job is to fight the spread of corruption by using the cum gun. Oh, and watch out for the media. Apart from the new enemies, warnings and missions, the seasons also add new weapons, cosmetics, quality of life changes and the scourge of modern gaming. You could call it the Grim Reaper of life service. The Battle passes always seemed like the weird unguided family meetings to me. What I'm trying to say is that I don't like them, and it's not even because they have no place in a full price title, which is true, or how they disincentivize developers to create cool cosmetics that you can earn by actually doing stuff in the game, which is also true. My main issue is how exploitative and manipulative they can be. One of the key ways that Battle Passes drive engagement is by creating a sense of FOMO. Because these rewards offered through the Battle Pass are only available for a limited time, players feel strong pressure to play the game regularly. But it goes even further, because what is the fastest way to level up your Battle Pass pass so you don't miss out on stuff. You do your daily challenges. By offering these rewards on a daily basis, game developers create a sense of habit and routine in the player, encouraging them to log in and play the game every single day. That's how you form a habit. And I don't know about you, but I want to play a game because it's fun and not because it's a point on my fucking to-do list. The combination of habitualization and FOMO also results in player investment into the game going way up, which in turn makes them more likely to spend money on the game. And honestly, if the devs really want to milk me, they should at least ask me for a date before. So now that you know how much I despise battle passes, it may be shocking, but I don't mind the performance pass in Deep Rock. Okay, so let me tell you why. First of all, it's completely free. There are no tiers, no paid boosters, nothing, which, okay, I can appreciate.
That's pretty neat.
But the thing that actually convinced me is that there is no FOMO bullshit. After the season ends, all cosmetics go into the regular loot pool.
Any cosmetics you've yet to unlock will simply be moved into lost packs, cargo crates, matrix cores, and perhaps even the shop located on the space rig. Nothing goes away, and everything can still be obtained.
Yeah, maybe harder to get some specific things, but you don't feel like you need to play 8 hours every single day to unlock a goddamn keychain. There are daily challenges, but I don't feel the need to complete them because nothing's gonna go away, which in turn makes it actually fun to do them. So if the Battle Pass is free, how does Ghost Ship Games monetize their game? First of all, it's $30 in your storefront of choice, which is an amazing deal in a world where games like Forspoken steadily approach the price of a used Pokemon DS cartridge. Of course, creating seasonal content is not cheap, so to recoup the cost of ongoing development, each season comes with a paid DSC cosmetic pack. Unlike other studios, looking at you, Fat Shark, GSG is not afraid of confusing their players, so they don't rely on a FOMO-inducing rotating shop or some bullshit like that. If you want to support the developers and keep the game funded, buy the cosmetics you want, that's it. And personally I think that's pretty fair. Okay, so one last topic before you can watch another one of my videos, and it's gonna be a bit of a weird one. Have you ever played a game and suddenly became very aware that you're in fact not a mighty pyromancer, but instead a slightly out of shape 20-something-year-old that owns one too many anime figurines? That could be because the screen went dark for a moment and you briefly saw your reflection, but more likely the game managed to break your immersion. Immersion is that feeling of being fully absorbed in a game's world, to the point where you forget about the real world around you. Immersion can greatly improve the enjoyment you get out of a game, and Deep Rock excels in immersing you into its world. That's in big part due to the space rig, a hub area where you spend your time between missions getting e-drunk and knowing management.
What is this, kindergarten?
The space rig is one of my favorite hub areas in games, and it's crafted with so much care and attention to detail. I love all the different terminals, that each player has their own cabin, how you have to enter the drop pod to start a mission, and most importantly the Abyss Bar. I also really like Lloyd. Lloyd is cool. It's the perfect virtual hangout spot. Imagine being a company like Meta, spending billions to create a future of online interaction.
That Kermit the Frog with 2 samurai swords smoking a blunt?
Meanwhile, this small Danish company just completely nails it in the first try. I mean, come on, be honest with me. Would you rather hang out with Mark over here or get e-drunk with your fellow dwarves? Easy question if you ask me. You can also bop up to some tunes on a jukebox.
Hey, wanna listen to some tunes?
To the flame, into the fire, with no regard for a thing but that arm.
Or use the power of alcohol to leave the space station. Nothing makes me feel more like a dwarf than drinking beer and kicking barrels into the launch bay. And I know explaining this to you may feel like a homeless person shouting something about lizard people into your ear. But the immersion built by the space rig truly is the foundation of the whole game. You're not just some random guy going to an alien planet, you are a dwarf, born from rock and stone, the foundation of Deep Rock Galactic, as reliable as granite and as short as my ever-decreasing attention span. Your purpose is to mine minerals, shoot bugs, ping the fungus and drink beer. When times get tough, you ask yourself, what would Carl do? And if someone doesn't get that, he's a pointy-eared leaf lover. The world is your gold, and you're here to mine it. Rock and stone. The video is now over. Bye.
To make some cookies.